Greetings, Love Posse. What have we learned from the pandemic, both individually and collectively? Collectively, we've learned that we are interconnected. All life is interconnected. Whether this virus came from nature, a bat, poor innocent bat, or was created in a lab, what matters most, what the lesson is, that it spread around the world and every human being was affected by it in some way. That we're both one, interconnected and individualized in these earth suits, these bodies. But on a universal scale, spiritual scale, metaphysical scale, we're all life. We're one, woven together. So what impacts me impacts you. What I do affects you. We've learned that we need each other, that no country, no person is an island unto itself, his or herself. That when we are in lockdown and not meshed together, when we don't have human contact or contact with nature, it affects us mentally, spiritually. So again, we need each other. We need human contact. We need contact with nature to maintain some level of sanity and health. We've learned both individually and collectively that our health is important. That scientists don't know everything. We've learned that the truth is not always the truth, that what we're told is not always the truth. We've learned that with all the medical advances, life can't be controlled. It's when it's our time to exit the body, no one can control that. We are organic beings. We have an expiration date. What else have we learned about our health? That having a strong immune system is important. Maybe we need to exercise more and drink more water and eat more healthy foods, be out in nature more, reduce our stress. That maybe there are other alternatives to Western medicine. that can help sustain the health of the body. What else? That we don't know everything, that the people we've elected, health organizations, scientists, medical doctors, don't know everything. And as a part of that, we've learned that most people are imposters. They claim to know when they don't, for fear of appearing that they don't know. Not everything is a conspiracy, and most things are. Not everything is fake news, and most news is fake. So we've learned we've had to rely on not people to feed us their narrative, but we've had to learn to go within, in our silence, within the lockdown, to listen for the answers to come up, to contemplate on what is true and real, what to believe in. Hopefully, we've learned that we've learned that we can't believe in those who seek to control us, that we can't follow the narrative of those who seek to control us, that their narrative is not our narrative, and that all we're following or living or existing in is a story that we make up in our head, and a story that's fed to us from outside. That we create our story, and that others create a story that they wish for us to follow. And that the biggest challenge during this time and during all time is figuring out what to believe, what is real, what is true, what is love, what is kindness, what is living a meaningful life. Because during lockdown, life motion has gone from quick, slow, to slow, quick, slow, quick, slow, slow. And in the slow and in the silence, all the things that we have chosen to not deal with within us, if you have noticed and become more aware, have trickled up, have surfaced up for you to deal with in your relationships with your partner, with your children, with your employer, in your relationship with spirit, in relationship with self. All that busyness dissolved, and then you were left with self, with your fears, with your anger and disappointment, with your sorrows and sadness. Those of you who have been hiding, couldn't hide from yourself, couldn't hide from your shadows, from your wounds, from the people that you, like your partner, We've been working and working and working, not dealing with our issues in our relationships with our partner. And the pandemic gave us an opportunity, a gift, to finally face those issues. Maybe you learned individually that the person you're with is not the person that you want to be with. Maybe you learned that the job that you were so attached to, that you identified with, the job was you. You learned that you are not the job, you are not what you do, that you are greater than what you do, you're greater than the money that you make, you're greater than the fashion that you sport. You're greater than you've been told. Maybe you've learned that we're fragile, that being in these bodies are both amazing and awesome. The things that the body can do, it can heal itself, but it's also fragile. Then when we don't give the body what it needs to function in a sustainable way, it breaks down. Maybe you learn that you are not your thoughts, that you have to do something about your mindfulness. Maybe if you've learned about meditation and yoga and EFT tapping. Maybe you learned that you couldn't just drink your worries away. You couldn't just self-medicate with a prescription, or with sleeping all the time. Maybe you learned that this world is a false reality, that we're making it up as we go along, all of us collectively making it up. Maybe you remembered the divine and you called out to our Creator, to God, to Allah, whatever your faith, and you connected. You remembered our connection with the Creator, and it opened you up, and you began to feel alive again. You remembered that you were a living being. So you have experienced transformation, going from existing to living, as we are collectively going through these spiritual initiations, initiated by the pandemic. Maybe you're seeing all the things you thought were real are not. That money can't save us, that a human being can't save us, that your status and class can't save you, that all the things you've accumulated can't save you. That there is no savior. You are your savior. Maybe you've learned that these leaders that you put your trust in, that you put on pedestals and idolize, don't know shit. They're pretending. They can't even say that they don't know. But now you are awakening and you can see it. that we're all fumbling through this maze, this adventure called life, on a roller coaster, some days up, some days down, that we have to live and adjust to what flows in and out of our life. So I'm asking you, challenging you to sit, to get a journal, however you process, and think about, contemplate, ponder, what have I learned individually from the sacred time that we are calling a pandemic? What have I learned about myself, about relationships, about my children, about our education system, about teachers? What do I think about teachers now? What do I think about the people leading the country now? What do I think about scientists and science now? What do I think about my body now? Will I appreciate my body and honor my body now? Will I do the things that are meaningful to me now? The soul-sucking job I was in, do I realize now that it was just a tool, a way to make money? It didn't fulfill me. It doesn't give me joy or meaning. Have you realized that now? That the people that I worked for were devaluing me, devaluing my talent, my worth, my skills, my time and my efforts. That you want to move into something greater than yourself. That you want to contribute on this planet in a more meaningful way for all of us, because you now realize that we're interconnected. Those who didn't want contact, are you now realizing now that human contact is important, even now, where we are living, where people have been told, where the propaganda and the narrative and the story is that human contact can kill you? And are you finding that within you're still longing for human contact? That's because human beings are social animals. We need each other. We need to interact. I just saw a rabbit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. So close to me. This beautiful life. Are you noticing things you didn't notice before? Because now everything is slow, slow. All those activities you were doing to keep yourself busy, to keep yourself from not being aware, from not being mindful, from not being conscious. Of everything around you. You see, we're always aware and conscious. We've just forgotten that. And this pandemic was a gift. I believe we created it because we had moved so far away from our spiritual connection, from loving kindness, from compassion. From our intuitive gifts, from nature. We had moving so far away from our nature that we had to create something to thrust us back, to shake us up, to learn these lessons that we're learning from the pandemic. What have we learned? This is a time of reflection so that we will not repeat the lessons, the mistakes. What have we learned individually and collectively? During the pandemic, last year, 2020, I traveled on the plane 10 times. I went to California, Minnesota, Texas, New Mexico, Colorado. I enjoyed life. I'm saying that to tell you that we create our reality, that we can choose to feed fear or love, that when all the chaos is around us, we must practice peace and love and balance, that we must honor and respect life, all life. So what did you learn? I learned that I'm a person who lives life. I learned that all the inner work that I had done for 21 years and still do came in handy, even when I was at my lowest low, which wasn't low. Here I am. Here you are. Thank you, Love Posse. Take some time to reflect and contemplate on what you have learned from the pandemic. I love you. Spirit loves you. You are loved. If this content was meaningful or helpful, please like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. If you're on Facebook, please support my Facebook page. If you're into tapping, please check out my tapping books. Please go to my website and check out my shop. We must learn from our experiences, from this experience. Your lessons during the pandemic were particular to what you needed to learn. And then, collectively, our lessons. because we all create this reality called life. Thank you for your time, Love Posse. Namaste. Namaste.